Hey everyone, it's Austin Solomon, the Solomon Group over at Coldwell Banker Action, doing a quick episode of The Real. Today we are debunking a few of the misconceptions around home inspections, and I brought in Jeff Newman to help me debunk these things. One of the things that I always enjoy people saying, not really, I'm being sarcastic, but when a buyer says, "Oh, that would never pass an inspection. I would just never. We don't want an inspector in here. It would never pass." Right? Obviously, Jeff, you and I know that no home really passes an inspection. It's not a pass-fail, right?
No, I mean it's a condition report. What we're doing is we're inspecting to tell the potential buyer of the condition of the home at the time of inspection.
Yeah.
So it's not pass or fail, it's condition.
Right. So the myth number one, again, not a myth, but misconception number one is it's not pass-fail.
No.
Number two is, out of the 1,000-some deals I've done, I think there's only been a handful of times where a lender actually requires a home inspection, right? It's another misconception is that a lender requires a home inspection. That's not true. There's only a few instances where a lender requires a home inspection, right? So that's another misconception that we are debunking here. You are not, and another one is, Jeff, who gets the inspection reports? Because a lot of times buyers think that you work for the city or you work for the bank or that this inspection report is going to be public. That's another misconception. Clear that up for everybody.
Yeah, my client is actually whoever pays for the report. So if the seller wants to get a pre-inspection report, I work for the seller.
Yep.
If the buyer wants an inspection report for, information before they buy the house, I'm working for the buyer.
Right.
That information is not transferred to anybody else.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I even have to ask permission to share it with the agent.
Yep.
If I don't get permission to share it with the agent, it goes directly to the client, and that's all.
Right. You mean you never turned in anyone to the city?
Oh, geez. Not in the recent past, anyway.
So, it doesn't, a home inspector, right, for the purpose, when, home inspection is for the purpose of sale, right? That's not something that has any affiliation with city, the city assessor or the municipality, right? It's not something, so when the inspection comes out as a seller, it's not like anything has to be fixed necessarily, right? It's something that could be negotiated in the sale, but nothing that has to be fixed. And then, Jeff, let's talk another misconception, right? You're not doing a code inspection, right? You're not making sure everything is up to code.
No,
right?
Code inspectors would work for a municipality or a county or a city or, whoever has jurisdiction over that area.
Yep.
That's typically for new construction or additions, things of that nature. The reports that I do, I'm not a code inspector. It's not a home inspector's job to recite code.
Yep.
What I do is I always inspect for best practice.
Right.
I look for just deviations in, is this done right or is this not done right?
Right.
So I'll call it out if it's not done correctly.
Yep.
But again, I'm not a code inspector. No home inspector is.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, and then the last misconception that I see a lot of times is after a home inspection is done, there's issues that are found. Sometimes buyers think, well, the seller has to make those repairs. They have to. And that's just not the case, right? So the seller is not obligated to make any repairs, right? Now, in the offer, depending on how it's drafted, standard language would say that if the seller is not willing to make repairs, right, and the buyer objects to some of the problems that are found, right, the buyers have some options to say, hey, sellers, you either make these repairs or the deal is off. But again, the seller's not required to make any repairs, right?
No, and neither is the buyer. I
Right.
mean, once you buy the house, you do with it what you want.
Correct. Yes, that's a great point.
If it shows up as a defect on an inspection report, it's because the home inspector deems it as a defect. And
Yep.
The definition of defect is that it's going to be either, I don't have the exact definition in front of me, but it's going to devalue the property
Yep.
or cause safety or, an issue like that.
Yeah.
So, but once you buy the house, it's your house.
Exactly.
Your
That's
choice.
another great point is if there are issues on the home inspection that don't get resolved through the process of sale. It's not like when you move in, someone's going to come knocking on your door. Hey, you have to fix these items, right? Again, the report doesn't get turned into the municipality.
No.
There's no inspection police.
Nope. No, and like I said, I work directly for whoever's name is on the report. That's who I work for.
Right, absolutely. Jeff, thanks for joining us and working with me to debunk some of these inspection myths. If you guys have more questions, we'll include Jeff's contact information. I know he'd be more than happy to answer any questions and help you guys out as you're navigating a home inspection. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode of The Real.
Thanks, Austin.